Welcome to the Gut Goddess Show, a weekly podcast for women who are fed up, are feeling bloated and tired. I'm your host, Kezia Hall, holistic nutritionist and all-around health geek. Let's dive into the show. How can you create quicker results in your hormones and in your belly? That is what we're looking at today. And we're also going to touch on why things aren't working, why some of the really healthy things that you've been doing, healthy habits, healthy foods, healthy lifestyle changes, why some of those really healthy things that you have been implementing haven't actually been moving the needle, haven't been helping you balance your hormones, haven't been impacting and improving your periods, haven't been helping with your bloating. You haven't been getting rid of your IBS or your acne or your eczema. Why is that? Why is that these really healthy things, these good things that you read about, that you know from research helps, why haven't they made your period better? Why haven't they gotten rid of your IBS or improved your poo or improved your skin? That's what we're looking at today. And I'm going to be sharing with you how you can make results and see results quicker. Because wouldn't that be so good? Imagine if you could make more progress with your belly, your bloating, and your periods in the next 3 or 4 months than you have made in the last 3 or 4 years. That's the kind of promise I give to the clients that work with me because I know it's possible. It's not magic. It's not hocus pocus or hoping. When you apply these 3 things I'm going to share with you in today's episode, when you have that checklist down, you can expect to see quicker results. You really can. It's not magic. It's not a secret. I'm going to share with you exactly how to do it so that you can see more results in your body with more speed and more ease, because I know I would like that, and I'm pretty sure you would too. So before we dive into that, a couple of episodes. First thing, just to remind you, is I am taking on 2 new clients right now. And so if you've been thinking about working with me, then now's the time to do it. I'm also increasing the investment to work with me in my private 3 to 4 month program, the Well Woman Accelerator. So if you want to get in before that price increase, and it will be a pretty chunk of a price increase, probably is going to increase by about 20-25%, so a decent chunk, then make sure you chat with me. The best place to start is to book your free clarity call at keziahall.com/book. This means we'll just go through the program. We'll start to design your personalized one-to-one program, talk about the lab tests we might need, what the structure might be, and then you can decide if it's the right fit for you. There's zero pressure from me. I really will just want to hear more about your symptoms, your health, and find out if it's a great fit for you. So keziahall.com/book. And if you haven't done the Gut Goddess quiz yet, that's my free online health assessment that you can do 24/7 that's going to help steer you in the right direction. Because I'm guessing you probably are not quite sure what's going on with your health, and you've heard lots of really useful contradictory things and you don't really know what to do for you. If that's the case, then the Gut Goddess quiz is for you. And that's at keziahall.com/quiz, which is exciting. So with no other updates from me, let's dive into the show. Okay, so we are looking at how you can create quicker results and with more speed and more ease, and also what's not working. So before we dive into how, I think it would be really useful to look at timeframes and expectations. Like realistically, how long is it going to take? How long is it going to take for you to have healthy periods? Like how many periods, how many cycles do you need to have till they become pain-free or they become a more normal flow? How long will it take for you to get rid of that IBS that you've maybe been struggling with since you were a child? How long will it take for the eczema to clear up? The eczema maybe that's all on your face and your hands and your arms and your legs. How long will that take to become new, fresh baby skin? That is, maybe we need to address that before we look into how we can make it quicker, because I think it's really useful to look at our expectations and our timeframes for this. So unfortunately, the answer to that really is it depends on you. The reason I work with people on a one-to-one basis is because it's really personalized. But I will share with you some of my generic timeframes that I often say to people before we start working together, just to give them a bit of an idea. Obviously, a lot of how long it's going to take for you depends on how long you've struggled with the symptoms for, and also on how thoroughly you're implementing the 3-step system I'm going to share with you in a bit. If you can implement the 3-step system that I'm going to share with you, you will see results much quicker. That will accelerate your progress. That's why I call my one-to-one program the Well Woman Accelerator, because it's really about accelerating the results that you see, because it's applying that system, and that in itself is going to make all of your timeframes increase. So in general, when I'm talking with clients, I'm just going to pretend you're sitting in front of me. We're talking about working together. What I would say to you is, I'm just going to make up some symptoms. Let's just say you've had IBS and gut issues or bloating since probably you were a teenager. So a decade, 2 decades, maybe 3 decades. Your energy is low, and you know there's some hormonal issues going on. Maybe you're heading into that perimenopause time, or they're just heavy and awful and painful and irregular. So if that's roughly you sitting in front of me, I would say probably between 1 to 3 months. Again, if we apply the system that I'm going to share with you, then within that time frame, you can probably expect to see between 50 to 80% of your symptoms massively reduce, shift, change, or disappear. Then from the 6 to 12 months following that, that's probably when you're going to see that remaining result of, let's say, another 50 to 20% left of your symptoms. Almost that's what you'll be working on. So if people work with me, what we do in our work together is really work hard on making their top 2 symptoms, 3 symptoms reduced vastly, or disappear entirely if we can, if that's possible and plausible. Then when they finish working with me, they're really equipped. They leave with a clear plan of action, so that in the 6 months that follows, the 6 to 9 months that follow us working together, they keep making progress, because they know the 3-step system, they know how to do it, they have the methodology, they have the tools, they know exactly what to do, and they don't really have to do that much work. It's not that hard. They just keep going, and then they keep making progress. Generally speaking, with gut issues, if you've had awful gut issues for decades, I would probably say it's going to take a good 12 to 18 months for your gut to become normal. Again, generally speaking, especially if it's gone on for a long time. And then with hormones and periods, that can actually be a bit of a quicker process. Again, depending on you hitting the right things on the right nails on the head and getting the right support. With your cycle, that can be probably between, actually, if you're having a period, between like 2 to 6 period cycles. So that's roughly about 2 to 6 months. But generally speaking, people have seen a shift in their periods whilst we're still working together. So within a 3 or 4 month period, they've seen it become lighter, less painful, more manageable, all these kinds of things. So it can sometimes be a bit quicker. And things like energy, sleep, skin, again, those can sometimes happen really quickly and sometimes take longer. I do find that things with skin sometimes takes more about 3 to 4 months for you to really see that eczema potentially to start to heal and repair, or the acne to really start and fade and heal over, and those kind of things. So there's a bit of an idea of time frames in terms of what I realistically see. I've worked with a lot of people now as a holistic nutritionist within my online clinical practice. So those are some of the patterns I see. But again, everybody is different. And I know that's really annoying to hear when you're in the middle of it, because if you're struggling, you probably want things to change right now. And you just want it to go now. You don't want to wait another 2 or 3 months. But if you get started today, then in 2 or 3 months, that's when things can change. So the best time to start was probably 2 months ago. But outside of that, the best time to start is now when it comes to supporting your health. So we've talked a little bit about expectations around time, which is useful. It's really helpful. A lot of people give up on and think it's not going to work for their health and on working on their health, because they give up too soon, because their expectation is that if I go gluten-free for 2 weeks, my IBS will disappear. If you've had IBS for 15 years, it's not going to disappear in 2 weeks just because you've gone gluten-free. If you've had awful periods from the get-go, when you got a period at 13 and it was awful, and then you went on the pill for 15 years and you come off the pill, You just taking a one supplement for 2 weeks is not going to undo that imbalance. It is going to take a bit of time, but what the problem is your brain, you have this underlying potential expectation that it's going to take 1 or 2 weeks. And so you give up. And then also people give up because they think it's going to take years and years, and it really doesn't. With the reason I create my one-to-one program to be 3 months is because I really see, generally speaking, 3 to 4 months, you can make so much progress. So, I'm recording this in June. If we started working together in June, for example, you could have seen such a difference in your body, how you feel, in your day-to-day experience. Your symptoms might have totally disappeared and changed by September. That's actually really quick, especially because so many people that I work with have been struggling with their symptoms for years. Like, I've actually had lots of clients that have struggled with their symptoms for multiple decades, 20, 30 years. So if you think about, you maybe have been struggling with something for 10 years, maybe. If you can see that basically disappear in 3 months, that's incredibly fast progress, which is incredible. But our brains tend to either want it to happen overnight, or we get discouraged because we think it's going to take 5 years. And often it's somewhere in the middle. The reality is it's not going to happen overnight. It's not. That's why I don't work with people overnight. It's why it takes a bit longer. But also it shouldn't take 5 years. It shouldn't take even a year for you to see an improvement in your period. It shouldn't take a year for you to see an improvement in your gut health and your IBS and bloating. And the reason that how you make things quicker, how you create quicker results in your belly and in your hormones, is what I'm going to share with you, is this 3-step process, which most people don't do. But if you can almost treat this as a checklist of knowing this is like your how to see quicker results, if you can check all these things off, then you should see progress within a couple of months. And clear progress, not just like, oh, it improved by like a tiny bit. You should be like, wow, I'm not bloated anymore. Or wow, my period is not as painful, or it's more regular, or my skin has improved. You should see tangible results. And when I'm working with people, we do track their progress and their milestones and their symptoms so that we can check they are making progress. So what are the 3 things that you need to make quicker progress and for things to be easier as well? So I'm going to share them with you. I don't keep secrets here. These are all things, checklists you can go away and take away and implement. So what do you need to do in order to make more results? The first thing is you need to know what is the problem. What is the root cause, said another way? What is going on with your body? So you probably are watching this or listening to this because you have a set of symptoms. You've been listening to the podcast for a long time because you're bloated, tired, you might have some skin issues, and your hormones might be not great. Your periods are awful. Or you're maybe on contraception, you want to come off, but whatever. So you've got a list of symptoms: tiredness, bloating, constipated, your energy is poor, your hormones are painful, you maybe get acne, you maybe have migraines, you've got a whole list of symptoms. So what you need to do is take that a step further and figure out what is the problem. Why do you have all these symptoms? What is your body trying to tell you through these symptoms? What is your root cause? What are the imbalances going on in your body? That's the first thing. Because if you don't know what a problem is, how can you fix it? Right? If you don't know what a problem is, how are you going to fix it? So with your dishwasher breaks. How do you fix your dishwasher? By finding out what's broken. You could just take a hammer to it and bash it a few times and hope that it works, but 99.9 times out percent of the time that's not going to work, is it? So when it comes to our bodies, we've been so disconnected from our bodies and so indoctrinated with dieting culture, we forget that actually our symptoms, whilst annoying and hard and can feel really limiting, and trust me, I know that from my own health history, they are actually there to tell you, they're trying to tell you what the problem is. The first thing, if you want to make more progress, if you want to make more results and see more results and see bigger changes happen, whether it's your weight or your hormones or your gut health in the next 3 months, make more progress in the next 3 months than you have done in the last 3 years, you've got to first figure out what are your root causes. What's the problem? This is the first thing I do with my clients all the time is we do data gathering, we figure out what are the root causes, we run functional lab tests, we look at their existing lab data from their doctors, we all look together and look, what is going on? What's going on? What's the problem? Why are you bloated? Why are your periods awful? Why are you tired? Why are you really struggling with anxiety? Why? First thing. Next thing, once you know the why, once you know the root cause, once you know what the problem is, then you move on to creating a clear methodology and strategy that targets the why. Really simple, right? So go back to the dishwasher analogy. You figure out, it's the pipe to the water supply has bust. That's the problem. So my strategy for fixing and getting this problem and getting my dishwasher working is to get a new pipe. Great. So you go do it, get someone to fit it, boom, problem solved. It's really helpful to have that kind of logical approach to our bodies. I know our bodies are more complex, obviously, than a dishwasher, but it can be really helpful to have that and realize we don't often have that approach to our bodies for some reason. But once you know what the problem is, then you can have a really clear strategy that you can feel confident that it's going to work. Because a lot of the time, I'm guessing when you've tried stuff before, you've not really felt confident that it's actually going to make any difference. And that kind of affects how you implement it. And it doesn't last very long. So you get really discouraged, blah, 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 blah. So once you know what the problem is, you can have a clear strategy that targets those problems, that problem specifically. And I can share with you my 3-part methodology that I have that generally encapsulates the strategy I use with clients, but obviously I personalize it for every single person that I work with. So generally speaking, when I'm creating my clients' personalized programs, what I'm generally implementing is I call it the 3F method. So we're looking at feelings, we're looking at food, and we're looking at function. So feelings is all about the emotions, mindset, nervous system regulation, all of these more emotional side of things, mindset, all of that sort of stuff. Food, we're looking at what to add in, what to take away, what foods are nourishing, what can we do, what's your relationship with food like, and function is all about how is your systems functioning. I trained and have a very functional medicine approach to my work, which means I really look at everyone from a whole perspective, a one-person perspective, and really focus on function. How is your digestion functioning? How is your hormones functioning? How is your signaling, your nervous system? All of these things, we're really looking at how everything is functioning. So that's the methodology framework that I use to plug in everyone's personalized program. So that's step 2. Number 1, know what the problem is. Know what your why is. Number 2, create a clear strategy that targets those problems. And the great thing about number 2, this also means you can do less stuff. If you Google, let's say you have endometriosis and IBS. I have a lot of clients with that combination. You Google those things, you will probably find 20, 30 things that you should do. Supplements to take, foods to eat, foods not to eat, exercises to do, meditations to do, lifestyle stuff to do. You could easily find 25 things to do, but probably 20 of those 25 things aren't going to move the needle for you. They're a waste of time. But the reason you can get so overwhelmed doing 25 different things is because you don't know what the problem is. And when you know what the problem is, you can strategically do less. You can do 3 things that targets your unique problem and make more progress. You can do less and see more results when you know what it is that you're dealing with. With IBS, do you have gut infection? Do you have yeast overgrowth? Do you have a parasite? Do you have SIBO? Do you have poor stomach acid? Do you have issues with your bile? Do you once you know what that is, you target that and you make really quick progress. So it means you make quicker progress and also can do less things, which I'm a big fan of. Doing less, big fan of doing that. I have 3 small children. I run a business. I work for charity. I'm all for doing less. So that is the real bonus side, is that you can just do less things. So step 3. So what's the problem? Create a strategy to target that problem. Number 3 is you need support to help you create that change. You need support to help you to implement on the strategy we've just talked about. Because when we're saying find out what the problem is, implement a strategy that targets that, what we're saying is make strategic change. But change is really difficult for the human brain to grasp onto. Change can feel really, really hard. That's why I support my clients for 3 months, not just for a week, but for a longer period of time to help them creating change, to help you make lifestyle shifts, to help you create new default behaviors. And yes, you can do that on your own, but it is harder and it does take longer. Because when we're talking about health stuff, if you're listening to this podcast, then you want something to change. But we often forget that change often requires support. Because if you say you start working with me, we're going to look at your food. I'm a nutritionist. We're going to look at your food. So we're probably going to make changes. That's changes to the way you shop, probably changes to the way that you create your meals. And obviously, we're going to focus on doing less. We're going to focus on making it simple. When you work with me, your life should get easier, not harder. But we're going to focus on doing, there's going to be change involved. And often, for most people, that requires accountability. It requires a mindset shift. It requires emotional support and help along the way, because you're making new changes to your lifestyle. And now over time, they become your new default. And that's why you won't need to work with me for years and years to come. We work together for an intense period of time and then move on. But this, whether or not you work with me, you can find support in various ways. But support, if you want to create change, and I'm guessing you listen to this podcast because you do want to create change in some area, even if you never work with me, you want to create change, you're going to need support. Support from your partner, your family, a therapist, a friend. There needs to be mindset and accountability support to create and sustain change, because the goal is always that you create lifestyle shifts, not these healthy blips. And it's probably why so many of us start things really enthusiastic and then never sustain them. Nothing ever sticks because we're not supported enough to create the change and create the lifestyle shift that is required. The best thing you can do for your health are the things that you can do consistently. And I know that's really boring and that's not some sexy answer, but it's true. The best thing you can do for your hormones and for your gut health and for your belly are the things that you can do on a day-to-day basis. But in order to create those default habits, in order to create habits and routines that really serve you well, you probably need support. You probably need accountability. You need someone to tell you how, why, what. You need someone to say, hey, have you done that? How's that going? Let's change that around. How are you feeling? What's going well? What's not going well? We need support. And support often I find with women is the key missing piece. And I think sometimes that's because finance is involved. Obviously, it's an investment to work with me, but you can find ways of getting support without paying people. I think women in general, we are used to being the support. If that makes sense. We support everybody else. So we're not used to getting support, giving ourselves permission to have support, asking for support. And I think from my experience, this is the key piece for a lot of people. In this methodology, they might roughly know what the problem is. They might know they maybe have a parasite. Maybe they've run some tests that they bought online, or their doctor said something, or they might already have a diagnosis. So they roughly know what the problem is. And maybe they know that getting rid of sugar would help. So they maybe know a bit of strategy that would work, but they need the support in order to implement it. Okay, so that's your 3-part system for making, my mic just popped. This keeps happening. That's your 3-part system for seeing more results with more speed and more ease. So if you are feeling stuck, stagnant, if you're frustrated, if you're not sure why you're not making more progress, really think about these 3. Do you know what the problem is? Do you know what your root causes are? Number 2 is, do you have a clear strategy that targets those root causes and the problem? And number 3, do you have support? Do you have accountability? Are you being encouraged? Is someone helping you with your mindset and holding you accountable? Where is that in your life? And if you want to make more progress in the next 3 months than you have done in the last 3 years, you need these 3 things. These are the rocket fuel that's gonna massively accelerate your progress. Or that's my experience anyway, working with people on a one-to-one basis for over 7 years. And through just even some of the research and stuff I've done on human behavior and the psychology of change and coaching. That's why I call myself a holistic nutritionist, because I love all the geeky stuff, and I'm a coach as well, because I do believe you need both in order to sustain real change and real results. Because the goal is that you live a healthy life that isn't full of restriction, that doesn't feel really hard, and doesn't need to take over your whole life. You should get to feel good every day without your whole life revolving around your food and the way that you eat. And I see so many of the time that doesn't happen because people are trying to do 25 things at once because they don't actually know what the problem is. And when you know what the problem is and you get the right support, you can do way less things. make way more progress, and feel really good and kind of just get on with living your life instead of obsessing about your health all the time. Being healthy actually means you live your life. You don't just keep obsessing about the food that you're eating. And that's really my goal with my clients and really what I've learned to do in my own life as well over the years. So I hope this video and podcast is helpful. If you have any questions, you can go to Kezia Hall. I am Kezia Hall on Instagram. You can go to keziahall.com. If you want to chat with me and talk about working together, that's keziahall.com/book. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. I am so grateful for you listening to the show. Please share it with anybody that you think would find it helpful. Otherwise, I will see you next week for another episode. Sending you lots of love. Bye.